So on the other side of the coin, unfortunately, Peach, are some players.
Coin's got to have two sides, man.
It's got to. It's got to. Other shoe has to drop. Other side of the spectrum. Two sides to a tail. Double-edged sword.
How many more is it got? Put a counter out.
How many more analogies?
else we
Shit,
got?
I'm all out. We have the starter that you are most frustrated with, Peach. I'm giving you Bamba, Cole, and Jalen. So are we doing starter most frustrated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think magically when we type up a script, you see, and we kind of look at it so we know what we're looking at. I think again, you for me have nailed this with the way that you've written it out here. But I'll explain why. First, let's just get Jalen out of there. He's a rookie. He's missed a lot of the season already with the broken thumb. He's showing improvement when he's out there. So, like, I get it. He's a rook. I'm totally fine with it. So just for those reasons alone, I'm done talking about it. We've talked about his issues. He's not perfect, but he is a rookie who has not even played a full season. So he's definitely on the bench. For backup, it's got to be Cole. I still feel like he's a great leader of this team, and the guys really like him. But he does do things every once in a while, dribbling around crazy, out of control. And sometimes his thirst for the ball, I've talked about it before, like why he was grabbing a lot of rebounds for a while. He just wants the ball so bad that he figures if I grab the rebound, then I just have it now, and I don't have to get it from somebody else. I can just take it and go wherever I want. And it's sometimes he's overzealous, and two of our own guys go for the ball, and it's sort of like you got to yield to the big men sometimes. Let Mo Bamba and Wendell get those rebounds. That's what they're there for.
That is frustrating.
Like, you just stand back. They can hand you the ball, and then we'll dribble up the court. Like, it's a thing. So that's probably one of the most frustrating things for me. Other than that, I know he's a little sporadic. As you taught me earlier. Spasmodic. Okay, sorry. As I thought you had taught me, but I guess I forgot. But I know that's who he is, and I made my peace with it. I understand every once in a while he's going to come down and gun, and I'm going to go, oh, and then sometimes it's going to go in. I'm going to be like, all right, and sometimes he's going to miss, and I'm going to be like, oh, I just shoot that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I've already made my peace with that,
offense.
so that's why he's definitely on the bench for me. For me, it's Bamba, and you know you've said a lot of things about Bamba, so I'm not going to go down this hole again, the rabbit hole, because I don't want any Bambi mentions here. But for me, at your size and your should be strength, we saw how much he had worked out and how thick he was.
7'10" wingspan.
7'10" wingspan, and yet you can't out-rebound and outscore the guy on your own team who's also underneath Wendell. And I don't think Wendell's taking things away from Mo. Mo could just as easily have had that stuff before Wendell even joined our team.
Yeah.
So, like, I know he's kind of more of a stretch four, but, man, in that body, he should just be doing so much more. And you know what? He's still a pretty damn good player. He's still a starter in the NBA.
Yep.
But for me, I'm most frustrated with that because I just like to think that if I had, and I think a lot of people probably out there would echo this same sentiment, right? Like we may not say it out loud because it sounds weird to say, but if I was in that frame, I would be a dominant all-star NBA player. That's what we all think. Now, it's not as easy as it sounds, but like to have that frame puts you ahead of everybody else. And I think whatever's going on there, I think, I don't know. Hopefully he straightens it out. Hopefully this is to Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Where are you at?
I'm agreeing with you with the bench. I'm putting Jalen on the bench. He's a rookie. I try to temper my expectations of rookies. It's his first year. He's filling out the NBA, especially coming into the point guard role. That's difficult to do. So, I'm happy with what I see from Jalen. He's definitely getting better as the year is going on. There's stops and starts. I think before the All-Star break, he was doing a much better job of not running with reckless abandon into the lane and not having an exit strategy. And he was getting to the hoop a little bit more. These last few games, he's showing some of the old habits a little bit. But again,
he played really well in the first half last night.
True. All right.
On both ends of the ball.
All right. So I'm the least frustrated with him because he's a rookie. I don't expect too much out of rookies, even the number 5 pick. This one maybe surprised you the first time. Second time we're recording it might not be a surprise.
I can act surprised.
Okay. It's going to be a surprise to everyone out there.
Yeah.
Because of all the Bamba talk that I've had, what I've put on his name, the disparaging comments.
Yes, Mo Bamba's mother is not.
Yeah,
happy with you.
she's not a fan of the pod. But I'm going to put him as my backup.
Okay.
And maybe it's just because I think my expectations were in line for Mo this year. I didn't expect very much of him. I know we did talk about the WCJ versus Bamba at the beginning of the year, but we both came down on the WCJ side pretty firmly. You know, I thought Steve Clifford was a really good coach, and if for some reason he wasn't seeing anything, and Kem Birch, by the way, was earning minutes over Mo Bamba,
right?
There's an issue there. You know, even if he doesn't see eye to eye with the coach,
right?
There's something not quite right in terms of his growth and development. So I think he is pretty much where I thought he might be. You said, you know, he is a damn good player starting. I don't know if he's a starter. He's a starter on our team. I think he's a solid backup big, right? He's a very good backup big in this league.
Yeah.
And a very good player. He could play for a long time. I'm not that frustrated with him. He's where I thought he was.
Right.
I'm most frustrated with Cole, man.
See, that doesn't really surprise me. I think I remember now not being that surprised. 'Cause I know Cole's driven you crazy from the preseason.
That's true. That's true. But, I mean, he shut me up at the beginning stretch of games.
He did.
I mean, that first quarter of the season, he was shooting 52% from the field, effective field goal percentage. That's unbelievable.
Right.
But as of now, he's 126th in the league in terms of his assist to turnover ratio. That's not great. That's not what we want in our starting point guard.
Right.
You know, he's averaging pretty solid points. But the thing that frustrates me the most is what Cole said his focus this year was going to be was his defense. He said coming into the year that that's really what he was focused on trying to improve.
Yep.
Which took me aback a little bit. But I think he's being exposed a little bit in terms of defense, especially at the end of games now that he's not hitting those shots to make up for some of those lapses on the defensive end. I don't think it's all his fault. We've talked about this before. I don't know what we're doing in our defensive schemes, but why are we switching on absolutely everything? It seems like every other play, Cole is getting pinned in the paint with their opposing forward or center, and it's just not good news for him.
Yeah, usually teams will switch once in a while, or like if you're struggling to catch up and they set the pick, then you switch because you can't stay with the guy. But like, I don't know, where are the lockdown defenders that are like, this is my man, I'm taking pride in that, I will cover him all game, I will only ask for help if necessary. And it seems like there's way too many possessions where Cole ends up guarding a big and Wendell's out on a point guard. And it's like, you know, look, Wendell can kind of stop him from going by, but he might not stop him from shooting over him. Like, it's a whole thing, man. It's very strange.
It's frustrating. I don't think we have the personnel to be doing that right now. This is not that type of team. And again, maybe I would overlook it if he was if the rock was falling for him on his shot. But you know, him dribble at the end of regulation last night that his pops was talking to him about on guest conference segment, that was really frustrating. I felt like he was just kind of looking for his shot, looking for his own shot, and there was nothing there. We had a shot clock violation, I believe.
We could tell that from where we were, and we weren't even in the building. Like, you could just see he had it, and it was like, he's pounding the ball.
He's gonna
trying to do something.
Yeah, and I mean,
didn't look like they were running much of a play.
No,
there was one pick and roll attempt. Something got covered. Yeah.
That was frustrating.
It wasn't a great play.
He is my starter. I'm very frustrated with Cole. I'm not saying I'm not confident he can bounce back. He can. He will. He's going to be a great player for us. But I think with this shift, maybe he's just I think everyone's maybe shifting a little bit right now, figuring out their roles, and Markelle coming back. So it's a tough time, especially for him, who's been our lead guard, and maybe seeing his duties shift significantly, change significantly.
And the only person who hasn't had their world shifted or affected much is the one guy who's our most consistent player, Wendell Carter Jr.
True.
So he doesn't worry about anybody coming back and stealing his minutes. He knows what he's doing, and he's doing it well.
Franz has been secure too, and if J.I. ever plays basketball again, we will see.